somebody who could make me laugh or that I could laugh with. Um, I'm an avid learner, and so I wanted somebody who could or would constantly challenge me and help me grow. I wanted somebody um, not only educated and financially, fiscally sound, but I wanted somebody who had a degree. And as this may seem odd, but for me, I dated people who were maybe just entrepreneurial or, you know, a millionaire by just having skill, but no education. And I just found that I connected more with folks who had a actual degree, whether it be a 4-year degree, a master's, doctorate, what have you. So I backed off, and that was a requirement. Health conscious, fit lifestyle. I mean, you don't have to be a fanatic, but and Chris will tell you that was the one of the 25 that he was lacking.
Yeah, I had 24. She told me you have 24 of the 25 things, and I'm like, all right, well, what's the one? She said fit lifestyle, and I looked down my body and I said, well, look, I'm not the skinniest guy in the world, but I'm not the fattest guy in the world either. And then she said something really beautiful. She said, no, it's not about your body per se or how you look. And I'm not, I'm not Matthew McConaughey or Brad Pitt, but I'm not, John Candy either. But I grew up playing sports, and I've lifted weights. I've struggled, up and down 20 pounds kind of thing. But what she said was, it's more about the fit lifestyle, eating right and, going hiking and, doing some of those things. And I thought, brilliant. That's perfect. Because I can change that. If you said, well, the one you're missing is you're not a 6'4" Latino, right? You don't look like A-Rod. Well, I could never change that. And so this was great. I was like, okay, perfect. I can do that. So I've gotten into hot yoga and done some of those. It's great because Denise and I will eat together. And, a lot of times we go out now. I've never done this before, but it's great. I love it. We'll actually split a meal. So we're eating half these huge restaurant portions. She does hot yoga and hot Pilates and things. I started going there with that, and I really enjoy it. It helped me lose some weight, get in better shape. So I really love that. I think it's imperative, though, that you know what it is that you're looking for. And again, this isn't a right or a wrong. This is just you. So you may say, I don't care one bit if they have a degree or not. I don't care if they have money or not. Some of you may say, I have to have somebody who's financially secure. Some of you may say, I want him to own a boat. I want him to be into sailing. It really doesn't matter. There's not a right or a wrong. It's just what is yours. I had 7. Of course, I wanted somebody who shared my faith, and you might be Jewish or Muslim or nothing at all. You may be an atheist and say, I don't want one of those religious folks. I want somebody who, we can go do whatever we want on Sunday morning or, whatever. Totally fine. It's up to you. So I had somebody that I wanted to share my faith with. Denise and I go to church together, and we love that. We get up and go over to church and enjoy church together, and we'll talk about the message or whatever. I wanted somebody who was funny because I'm funny. I like to joke. I like to laugh. I wanted somebody who was witty, somebody who can keep up with me. I love conversation. I love witty repartee. I love to be able to talk. I wanted somebody who I thought was beautiful. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So what you're looking for, if gals, you may want somebody tall or you may want somebody short. It doesn't matter. You may want them to be ripped, or you don't care if they have a dad bod. It really doesn't matter. Again, this is all just about finding who you want. Denise had 7 of the 7, so I was actually a little bit luckier than she was. But I think the thing that Denise and I really want to challenge you and encourage you is to really focus on what you want. And the time to be selfish is in choosing the person. Once you get into a relationship, now you have to be selfless, right? You have to give and to give up and negotiate and, work together. But when you're picking, you can be pretty selfish. You can say, this is what I'm looking for.
Well, and this whole idea for this audio program came out of Chris and me telling our story to people, whether it be a nurse conducting, my mammogram who's in her 50s and said, wow, I like your story. Maybe there is hope. Or, we had a girlfriend. We were at her 50th birthday, and